What's up everyone, it's your favorite blind guy, my name is Ross, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a new series called I Have No Idea Yet. Essentially, it's going to be about breaking down or analyzing different blind characters within media. So whether it's a video game, a TV show, or a movie, essentially I'm going to break down that character and be like, alright, is this accurate as a blind person, or is this just total Hollywood BS stereotyping blind people? Spoiler alert, there are a lot more poorly portrayed stereotypical blind people in Hollywood and all that than there are accurate quality portrayed blind people. In today's very first episode, we are going to be talking about the character Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Alright, this is one of my most favorite shows of all time, as well as many others, but especially me, spoiler alert, because Toph is blind and she's awesome. In my opinion, out of all, the blind characters in media that I know of, Toph is probably the gold standard out of all of them. Everyone else is pretty much just downhill from here. Avatar: The Last Airbender was released back in 2005, and this was a show that I actually used to watch before I went blind. I would say up until probably like halfway through season 2 was when I stopped remembering what scenes in the show look like, but it was well after Toff was introduced. And for those who don't know anything about Avatar, a very, very brief description to kind of get you up to date on Toph and why I'm talking about her in this video. The show is essentially about people who can bend elements, water, earth, air, fire, through a form of martial arts. And in fact, Brian and Michael, I forget their last names, but basically the directors of this show did their research into all the different Eastern Asian martial arts, and all of the bending, water, earth, fire, all that is based off of one of those martial arts. I can't name them off the top of my head because that's not the point of this video, but the point is that Michael and Brian have done their research into blindness. So about Toph, she's a 12-year-old blind earthbender, and essentially she is able to see everything around her by feeling the vibrations in the ground, which is totally badass in my opinion. But that's actually why I have this earthbending tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it from that angle. I got that about a year ago, but yeah, just because I thought that was such a cool idea. The first thing I want to highlight about Toph is that she's used to reflect real world problems that blind people have. So it's not like she's just this crazy superhero that beats everyone up and woo, that's all she is. She actually has personality, she's funny, and a lot of the struggles that she deals with are very, very similar to what I and many other blind people have struggled with. So for example, I'm going to play this clip.
My parents don't understand. They've always treated me like I was helpless.
Is that why you became the blind bandit?
Yeah.
So here we have Toph explaining that she's sheltered by her parents, that people don't take her seriously, and this is actually a really big issue that a lot of blind people face. Parents sheltering their blind kids is a very, very real issue. There are many blind people who actually grow up, I guess you could say socially undeveloped, because their parents shelter them from the outside world. And in the show, you see Toph's parents trying to do that. Another great scene is where a group of girls are making fun of Toph for wearing makeup for the first time, and they're making fun of how she looks.
One of the good things about being blind is that I don't have to waste my time worrying about appearances. I don't care what I look like. I'm not looking for anyone's approval. I know who I am.
I really found this scene very, very touching and down to earth because this is something I struggled with growing up. I didn't necessarily worry about my looks 24/7. I didn't let it consume me, but it was something that I always had in my mind. And what you hear Toph say about, how she's just comfortable with who she is, that's kind of what I did. I can't speak for many other blind people, but like growing up, I just wore what I liked to wear, for example. I just wore what I thought was comfortable, and I didn't wear what was fashionable. I didn't care about any of that stuff. Similar to like how other people look. I don't think about many of that stuff, and you could see that reflected in Toph in this scene. But look, it's great that Toph is written with all of these real world issues. She's a very real character, but that's not the only way to portray blindness. A great way that they do it in the show is through comedy, which this show is hilarious. And the way they do it, honestly, it's so much more tasteful than just an uninspired blind joke.
It's so dark down here. I can't see a thing.
Oh no, what a nightmare.
Sorry.
Or another example of the group making fun of Sokka for his Appa drawing.
It looks just like
them to me.
Thank you. I worked really... Why do you feel the need to do that?
The thing I love about all these jokes is that it accomplishes so many things. First, it accomplishes that blind people can make jokes too. Blind people are funny. Blind people can do this and that. You know, it's not like we can't joke about our blindness. But another thing I really like is that how accurate this is, because I can't speak for any other blind person, but for me growing up, I used my blindness as a joke to kind of put other people at ease, to show that, hey, like, you don't have to worry about my blindness, like, I'm still normal. And I feel like that's what the Brian and Michael, the writers of the show, had in mind for Toff, because you could see her doing that in all these examples where she's not exactly trying to convey that to the group, but it's almost like Brian and Michael are trying to use Toff to convey that to the world. And the funny thing is, even the group's reaction to Toff's blind jokes are very real. I remember I was driving through a parking lot with some friends, and we couldn't find any parking spots, and so we were circling around, and then I go, oh, there's a parking spot right there, and then they slam on the brake, and they're like, where? And I was like, did you guys really just fall for that? But it's funny though, because I'm completely blind, but a lot of people forget that, and that's not unique to me. A lot of other blind people face that issue as well. So I think it's really funny how they even incorporated something like that into here. So the last scene I want to show you guys is probably my favorite scene in the entire show. And after you watch this, I'm almost convinced that Brian and Michael either knew a blind person, did a crazy amount of research, or somehow got extremely lucky with all this.
So, you're blind?
I can see you doing that. I see everything that you see, except I don't see like you do.
Wait for it.
I release a sonic wave from my mouth. There. I got a pretty good look at you.
Okay, so I've had kids growing up wave their hands in front of my face all the time. I think it's crazy that they got a tiny detail like that right. Second off, the fact that they did the whole sonic wave bit, like, so many so many sighted people think that that's how echolocation works, that echolocation involves a blind person, like, squeaking like a dolphin, like, ee! Like, that's not what happens at all. So the fact that they were making fun of that, I'm like, how do they know about this? Like, they're not blind. Like, these are such small, tiny things that I'm like, wow, like, This is why I love this show. This is why I love this show. Toff is a powerful earthbender, has a hilarious personality, plays an important role in the story, all while portraying and respecting her blindness in a non-stereotypical way. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. Be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you think about it, and share it as well, because, you know, I want as many people to see this, kind of increase blind awareness over blind characters and movies and shows. I don't know, it's just a really cool idea. And if you want to support this show, I guess my channel as a whole, be sure to check out Patreon. We have a lot of different perks for that: early access, exclusive access to certain things, exclusive rooms on my Discord, exclusive stuff on my Twitch, and it's all interconnected. It's a great way to help support me and the show. And let's see, anything else? I know this isn't a really good intro, but I feel like there's so much I need to cover. I'm in a different room than I was in the intro because I moved in the middle of this video. So let's see, what else? Oh yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra is described on Netflix now. So if you are blind and you want to watch the show with full professional description, go check it out. It's an awesome show. And that's just about it. So I will catch you guys next time. Take care.